What's happening? Once again, it's on. You know what it is? KDG Company, baby. And we're back in action. Show you right. And we got an amazing show for you today. As we break down, KDG Company proudly presents Movie Talk Challenge. And tonight we have Nightmare on Elm Street versus It. Now, the deal is, I was thinking about maybe doing, the old school Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 versus the 1990 It. But the thing is, 1990 It, as everybody knows, is a miniseries. And I felt like that would have been at a disadvantage for Nightmare on Elm Street because, it's not enough backstory on Freddy. The original miniseries, it's a huge backstory on the characters as well as Pennywise. So it wouldn't be fair for good old Freddy. You know what I'm saying? I have to make it fair for my man. So you know what? I went ahead and went with the remakes. The 2009 Nightmare on Elm Street versus the 2017 It. Bam! Look at this, big baby. I got It. Got Nightmare on Elm Street once again. You gotta add these to your collection, man. You gotta add these to your personal library. It's very necessary. So necessary. Classics right here. Now let's get on to it. It's your man, your boy, your ace, Andre Shane, better known as Mr. Shoes. Will you recognize? Now, we're going to go ahead and break down origin. We're going to go to the origin right quick. Now, I'm going to start with my man Pennywise. Now, Pennywise was a little sketchy. It's a lot of stuff unknown about Pennywise. Like, why does he take the shape of a clown? I mean, he can do things that an average clown just can't do, so we obviously know he's not a clown. But they don't go through that in the movie to really explain it. That's the mystique of It, But what is known is that the town of Derry that he occupies has been plagued with death, children's disappearance of children, missing children reports, as well as just this god-awful documented history within this town. I mean, this goes back for centuries. So no one knows what's been going on in this town. So that's basically the origin of It. He preys on the flesh of young children, and he just haunts this town, preying on the flesh of children in Derry. All right. So that's the origin of It. Now the origin of Freddy Krueger is basically he starts off as the groundskeeper or gardener of this preschool. This preschool, and he is suspected of abusing one of the children, and possibly sexual abusing the children, but mainly it's just assaulting the children. So he's suspected of this, and when he's brought in for questioning, he skips town. So the parents of the children that are accusing Freddy, the parents go after Freddy, find him, hunt him down, set the dude on fire. Kill the dude. And he vows to seek revenge against the children by killing them in their dreams. Now, wow. Now, I know the mystique of It. I mean, what makes you really terrified is not knowing. The unknown, that's what's really terrifying. But however, it is pretty scary not to know. But when everything is vague, when you create a character that's too unknown and it's too vague, it's hard for the people, your audience, to really, really get invested into the character to the point where you still have their attention. You do too much, you don't leave enough information, you could lose them. So I feel like with Freddy, his ability and his reasoning. So to me, Freddy has a better origin story. So we're going to go ahead and give Freddy the point for origin. So we're going to go ahead to story. Now the story, we're going to go into It. Now the story of It starts off with the child Georgie Denbrough. Georgie Denbrough, back in October of 1988, where the film takes off, is when the child by the name of Georgie Denbrough comes up missing after having a run-in with Pennywise at the sewer drain. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go into that. You already know what happened to poor Georgie. You've seen this film. And the following summer of 1989, Georgie's older brother, Bill Denbrough, and his friends spend the summer trying to find Georgie. However, they run into trouble. The posse of this guy named Browser, they get bullied, but also these, crazy things start occurring. And it brings these guys, of outcasts closer together. And they realize is that Derry, like I said before, for centuries have gone through missing reports and great tragedies in this town. And it all stems from Pennywise. And it seems to happen every 27 years. So what starts off as a search for Georgie becomes a just allegiance and a vow to stop Pennywise. Great story. Now, the story of Nightmare on Elm Street basically starts off as this kid that's at a diner, this teenager that's at a diner, and he dies. Now, it's suspected that it's a suicide, and at his funeral, his classmates come, from high school to pay their proper respects, but shortly after, many of his classmates start dying in their sleep. Now, the two classmates left realize that, number one, they know each other far more than just from high school. And something from the past where they know each other from is coming back and killing them in their sleep, but they don't know what or who it is. All right? That's the story of Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I like both of these stories. Great stories, great characters. So I'm going to have to go ahead and give Nightmare on Elm Street a point as well as It. Bam. Okay, we have 2 for It, and we have 1. Actually, we have 2 for Nightmare on Elm Street and 1 for It. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on down to, I believe, the body count. Now, the body count is very interesting in this because Freddy just knocks off the kids at this previous preschool that he used to work for. So that's between 15 to maybe 20 kids, roughly, that he knocked off. So that's pretty impressive. But compared to It, you got to remember, he's been doing this for centuries at this town in Derry. So you're talking about a couple of thousand, maybe 100,000, you can say that because every 27 years for a couple of centuries. So yeah, maybe 100,000 or so. I don't know. Some huge ballpark figure he been knocking off kids. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go ahead and give It the body count. Now, for the whole enchilada, we have star rating. Now, Nightmare on Elm Street gets 2.5 stars, unfortunately. But It gets 3.5. So, we have a victor. Y'all know who it is. It has won. 3.5 stars, y'all. Y'all can't beat that. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Once again, it's on, as y'all know it, your man, your boy, your ace, Andre Shame. And once again, always remember, my brothers, keep your shoes on.